Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelos and that's a video tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for Max Cookie. This time we'll continue working at the new series, the Monster Tornado. And in the past video we created the basic animation for the tornado rig, and we started to tune and tweak the various parameters to obtain the final animation. Obviously, we have to optimize and finalize the film effects setup, but I like to start adding also more layers to the simulation. Let's imagine that this one will be our camera, just to have a rough idea. And let's go back to have a perspective. Let's go there. And we have our tornado there. Okay, let's hide lights and cameras, and we can imagine that we have a ground plane inside the scene, obviously, and we can have, let's check in the camera, maybe we can move a little bit the camera. Let's remove the angle snap. Okay, do something like that, but maybe we can move the camera because I like for the moment to see what happened over the ground. So I like to have the smoke, the dust burning from the ground, and then start twisting around there. So let's see what happens if we have, for example, this one as an emitter. So this is our film effects, and now we'll create another film effects. So let's try to have something like that, not so high, so maybe we can go for something like that. And the proportion actually will be similar to the box, and later we'll fix it if we need a bigger scale. Okay, and let's check the grid, and let's add another source, and we'll use an object source, and this one will have the ground as object. So let's see what happened in this case, and let's go inside film effects. You see that the resolution is really low actually, so we can go down to something like that just to make some testing. And in the general I have just to check which folder we have to use. Let's use this one, and we don't need the fire as the previous setup. Let's go with 100 iteration to be faster, and let's open the preview viewport. And actually you see we have nothing, we have just the emitter, and that's all. I have to be sure that we have the emitter inside. So I have to assign the emitter. Obviously I was not using the emitter. Let's see, let's use the source number 2. And you see that we have the smoke. Okay, let's animate in any way the body there for the emission, and we say that we have zero smoke at the beginning, and then we have maybe, obviously we have to move stuffs, because I like to have the shadows there, the smoke. It's better to remove this key. Okay. And let's select the source number 2. Okay, we have no key. So let's say that we have minus 60, and our source will have there smoke 0, and then we'll have there smoke, let's say 1. Let's select the film effects, and we'll start minus 60, and we'll see it from minus 60. I think I made a mistake, so object source, we need smoke 0 there, and the next key is 1. Okay. Back then to the simulation. Okay, it is. I can say just that it is too fast, so minus 100, and let's see, we have there smoke 0, and we can move it there, and we can make the smoke parameters as linear. So let's select both, and let's go with the linear. Okay, let's save this one in the part 2. This one must be renamed, and save. Perfect. So let's see now, but we have to start from minus 100 and minus 100, and simulate. We can try to have the smoke curve lower. So again, let's say that we'll use this kind of curve, and close, and we change the density inside the smoke there. So let's go for a really low value. Okay, you see that the smoke is start, and then we have the smoke without any feature. Let's add a noise, let's say maybe 1 meters, and time scaling is 0.2. We have 1 meters, and let's say 5 meters, and we have 3 for the tail, and there 60 for the noise. So let's see, we have, you see, okay, you see that we have the turbulence there, and I like to have also a gravity, and I like to have a gravity, let's say to use a standard inside the space warps gravity, and this gravity will stay in the middle of this one. Okay, it will be spherical. Let's say it will be a little bit not so big. Let's add to the simulation this gravity, and let's see what happens. It is still not moving. Let's speed up the timing. Let's try with 1 to be a fast simulation, and let's pick the gravity, and let's say that the strength is 10. Okay, now it is moving. Back there, let's say 100. We have to find the right parameters. Let's retry. I just removed the noise just to see in a more linear way what happened inside the scene. We are simulating some frames just to understand how it is going. I see the smoke moving. Let's stop. Let's check it from this point of view. And you see that the dust is moving there inside. Okay, it is going through the center there. So let's say that we have the scale there is 2, and the speed of the noise maybe 0.2, so it is really low. And let's see what happened. So you see we have a little bit of perturbation inside the smoke, but it's more important to see if the smoke is going in the right way through the center. We need a little bit more frames, obviously. Let's see, for example, there. So, okay, you see that we are starting to have smoke, and the smoke is moving through the center. Let's see with less density what happened. Okay, you see that we have dust moving to the center, and I like to add also the vortex. So let's see together what happens if we have the gravity and the vortex inside the simulation. we should see the smoke moving through the center and also starting to have a vortex. We can try also to do something like having a second vortex with the same parameters but with a higher amount, so we can also scale it. So let's stop the simulation. You see that actually it is moving to the center. Let's select the vortex and let's make a copy. Okay, and first of all, you see we have to say that it is starting at minus 100. So let's check what happened in this way before working on the second vortex. I will stop there and let's use the basic value there for, okay, we have time scale set to 1. We have not so much turbulence there. Let's select the second vortex, minus 100, and it will be bigger. Let's try with 250 as speed, and we assign the second one 2, so vortex 2, and let's see what happened. Let's try with a lower quality grid to speed up things. You see that the staffs are starting to rotate. Okay, let's simulate some frames and later we'll check the result together. Let's check the frames we have. And you see that dust is starting to rotate and it is moving faster out. So something I will really like is to have less speed on the second vortex. So let's say that also this one is maybe 100, and I like to have more force on the gravity, so let's imagine maybe 350, and let's simulate some frames. I like just to see if we are able in this simple way to attract dust to the center in the meantime it is rotating, and it seems that it is working. Okay, you see that it is working. Okay, something I really like to add is also the possibility to control where we have smoke and where we have no smoke. And to do this, we need the texture to control the smoke presence. Let's go for a noise, or maybe we can go directly with the smoke. Okay, and we can assign this one there. It is set as intensity, and let's see where we have the smoke to find the right scale. Okay, we are starting to see where we have smoke and where we have no smoke. Perfect. So we need maybe it is better to do it with a simple noise. Let's say it is 150. It will be fractal, and you see we'll have some kind of map like this one. So we should be able to have smoke just on some part of the ground. Okay, let's try with a turbulence path. Will change the parameters, and let's see some frames. And I think we can also scale. Let's go for 350. So we'll have just some areas with smoke moving. And let's see. Okay, I will check how it will move with a little bit of frames. So I stop the recording. Okay, let's check what we have there. And you see that we have the smoke appearing just on some parts of the mesh. Okay, so we have the dust coming out. I think we need a little bit more high there to be able to simulate in the right way. Okay, let's close this one, and let's select the the first few effects. We can open the parameters there, and inside the rendering we have the color we are using. So let's use the same color as a copy and select the second one, and inside the rendering there paste, and we do the same for the other color. Copy and select the second one and paste. We have to activate the shadows, and inside the illumination we have to pick the lights. Let's select both. Okay, done, and render. To check the rendering, let's open the preview. Okay, let's see what we have there. And to do this thing, I like to pick the plane. Actually, we'll use this shape, it's not a problem. And let's create a shader named matte, and we'll use the matte shadow. Apply atmosphere at object depth, and let's remove for the moment the shadows. So let's pick this one, and let's for the moment hide this one just to have a better screen there, and just one frame. So you see this will be the terrain. Obviously, to have a better result, we need a bigger terrain actually. So we'll use maybe let's say we'll mask this one. Let's try to do it using a map. So keep all map, and the mask will be a gradient ramp, but just for a moment we need to use this one. Okay, it should be sorry, radial, and it will be white in the middle, white also there, and there will be black. And let's say that the black is also there. So we should be able to have smoke just in this area. And checking on the film effects source number 2, we have this one, the mask, so it should work fine. And again, assign the math. So pick this one, and let's simulate to see if we have the dust just in the gradient we just created, and you see that it is working. So it will be a good way, so you can model a bigger scale terrain and pick the dust just from this part. Let's simulate some frames, and then we'll check the result together. Okay, let's check these frames. See that the dust is burning just there, and then we have the beginning of this dust moving. Something that will be really useful is to pick the gradient there and to add a little bit of noises, so it will be not so precise. Okay, let's see if the circle proportion is right. Okay, the area seems not so circular. Okay, cancel. So it seems it is going in the right way. Maybe we have just to tweak and tune the parameters. So let's go there where we have a little bit of dust, and let's see what happens when we render it. Okay. Maybe it will be better to not use the map there. It is just a rough idea. So we'll use just the gradient to identify an area where we'll have the dust moving, and maybe we can give the idea of dust just using the noise there. So let's say, for example, that there we have 0.5, and let's see what happened. Or maybe we can try with an higher force. So we'll have the dust moving just using the force there and nothing else. I see something moving there, you see? And I like to see in rendering what we have. So just one frame back. And let's check the rendering. Okay, we see the dust moving. We can check from up. So you see we have the dust moving there just from some parts, and maybe we can go with an higher force. So let's try with 1, and we'll see what happened. Let's say also that there we use just the gradient, and we'll go for something like that. So we'll have more dust in the middle and less dust step by step going to the border of our gradient ramp on the ground. So you see, in this way we are picking the dust from the ground, and we'll start moving it to follow the tornado, and it will be something to attach to the environment, because actually we had nothing between the ground and the twister. In the obviously this part is near to be over. Now we'll see just how to tweak the parameters to obtain the final simulation. And in the next part we'll work to finalize the tornado with the final parameters, and we'll start to see the Krakatoa setup. So then we'll be able, maybe in 2 or 3 parts, to finalize everything. Now I'd like to see some frames with you, so actually I can stop the recording and we'll see later the result. Okay, let's check what we have. We have the dust coming inside the scene and then start moving. Okay, so you see that's the way it will move, like a twister. Let's see a frame render it. See that it is arriving to the top, but we can just see what happens if we have the fall off. So you see, maybe we'll be able to use a lower result in quality as this one, and add more details later. And actually talking about the speed, we have to think about it, and to do this we need to make some testing to check the entire simulation. If you like to obtain the final quality result, we can see maybe to have something like that. Let's see how it looks, and in this way, if it works at this proportion, you can use later the wavelet turbulence. We'll see maybe in the next part how to adjust the final result. Okay, it will simulate some frames. So I just simulated some frames, maybe 30 or something like that, and it is enough to understand if actual scaling can be okay or not. So let's go back there and let's try to render this frame. Okay, so you see that the scaling is not bad. I think that we can use this scale and use the wavelet turbulence to have more detail inside. So you can do something like that for sure. To have the wavelet turbulence, you have to remember to activate it down there. So let's close all the panel, and you have to activate it there to obtain the right simulation. So we have also the ground smoke, and we can make the final simulation on part 3 for the tornado. So then we will be able to finalize this layer 2, and we will be ready to finalize the entire project. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com. Bye.